Attention! Welcome to Inside OSU. At ease.
Hi, this is Burns Hargis for another edition of Inside OSU, and this is a special edition because we're going to explore OSU's tradition-rich ROTC programs. With me is Lieutenant Colonel Jason Winslow of the Air Force, who is the commander of our Air Force ROTC program. Colonel, welcome.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate the opportunity to be here today and highlight Air Force and Army ROTC amongst OSU.
As I said, it's a storied program, but as I understand it, we're in the top 15% of second lieutenants commissioned out of our program, correct?
Absolutely. Both Army and the Air Force side, traditionally, annually, wherever you want to call it, 15% production and lieutenants commissioned across the Air Force and the Army. So OSU is always ranking and stacking highly amongst all institutions in the United States.
We'll talk about the program.
The curriculum itself is a 4-year program. And it's extremely competitive. It's good to know that our Army and our Air Force lieutenants are competing amongst themselves at the collegiate environment, and only the very best make the cut and are offered a commission.
How many would be enrolled in Air Force and how many in
at the
Army?
At the end of the fall semester, last semester, we had 108 and 107 Air Force and Army in the Air Force and Army respectively. So about math in public, never do, but 215 roughly at OSU.
Talk about the joint program. When I was here, they were completely separate. Air Force and Army were separate.
Absolutely. One of my big initiatives working with Colonel Beck on the Army side is we realize that we want to practice like we play. We want to expose our lieutenants in the Air Force and the Army both to as much jointness. We call it jointness, and it's a purple force, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. So to do that, you have to practice that now. Instead of exposing them when they become an active duty officer, doing as much as we can, integrating our programs, whether it be the classroom, field training environments, playing sports together, doing push-ups together on the field, you name it. Everything we do now is a holistic thing.
Talk about some of the academic initiatives that you've instituted.
One of our big pushes, and this is really even independent of ROTC, we wanted to start a minor in intelligence studies amongst OSU, kind of recognize that OSU has some niches, whether it be from the aeronautical or unmanned aerial systems development. We're like, wow, this is great opportunity in OSU to leverage and really create intel-savvy professionals on the Army and the Air Force side.
You do a lot of training in the summer times, don't you?
We do, right? If they're selected to be commissioned, ultimately commissioned and contract, they go to a field training 6 weeks to 8 weeks, depending on what they do, between their junior and senior year for Army and sophomore and junior year for Air Force. And then they have to compete for what their specific assignments are in the Air Force or the Army. I'd like to present you with our detachment coin from the Air Force side.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the focus and highlight.
Well, thank you very much, Colonel.
Thanks, sir.
I'm going to talk to a couple of your cadets, see what they think.
Thanks.
Well, as promised, I'm here with two of the cadets here at our ROTC programs at OSU. On my far left is Ed Echohawk from Pawnee, Oklahoma. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you, sir.
And you are Austin Kirsch from Mustang, but then you knew that.
Yes.
Yeah, well, welcome. Describe the training. I mean, what if somebody's interested in this, what can they expect?
Well, from the Air Force side, our training really focuses on leadership. Leadership and academics. We're inherently, Air Force is a much more leadership-based type of program to where, we may not be the ones that are firing the weapons at all times, but at the same time, we're supporting our soldiers on the Army side, Marine side, jointly, and that's the whole concept with us getting together at such a different level.
I'd agree. Ours is also leadership-focused. However, as we tend to be boots on the ground, what we do is we orient our cadets to individual, team, and squad-level tactics on the battlefield as a vehicle for developing leadership.
How does the working together, kind of the interdisciplinary structure that you have now work?
One of the things Austin and I are pretty fortunate about is we get along really well. So it complements because it's not just a working relationship, we actually get along.
And I think one of the biggest things that we came up with is we wanted to make this semester a mutually benefit semester for the both of us. We didn't want it to be a one-sided. It wasn't here to be an Air Force fundamental building us like the Army, or the Army building us like the Air Force. And so what we really focus on is how we can complement each other and making us both better.
So guys, tell me about some of the training exercises that you've engaged in.
We've done 2 different joint events with the Air Force. One is Ranger Challenge, which tests the individual and the teams in multiple military skills, such as rough marching, rifle marksmanship, creating a bridge to cross water, and then getting your guys across. So it's a a combined task evaluation. And then we also did a field training exercise, an FTX, which was the first time we've ever done a joint FTX, and that was at Camp Redlands.
So what happens after graduation?
I'll get my master's degree, and then about a week later I ship off to Basic Officer Leaders course for the infantry branch in Fort Benning, Georgia. I'll do 16 weeks of infantry training, followed by 2 months of Ranger school, and if everything goes well, head over to a unit and start doing great things.
Okay, great. How about you, Austin? When do you graduate?
I actually graduate this May along with Cadet Echo Hawk, and then July 31st is the day I actually go to LA Air Force Base and become an acquisitions officer.
I see. Well, great. Well, thank you very much for enlightening us on these programs. Well, here I am with General Douglas Dollar, who's the Executive Director of Scabbard Blade, which is the Honorary Military Society. Well, what's the purpose of Scabbard Blade, and how does one qualify for this distinguished honor?
Well, like any collegiate honor society, its purpose is to recognize outstanding performance. In our case, for members of the ROTC, all services, cadets and midshipmen. A cadet or midshipman must be in the top 20% of the junior or senior class of ROTC based on the order of merit list by the Professor of Aerospace Studies here at OSU. And that is based on more than just academics, leadership, physical training, perhaps tactical, whatever they take into account in the program on the campus.
And you're not just talking about OSU graduates, you're talking about throughout the
Over
country.
the nation, right.
And that is pursuant to a momentous event that's coming up in terms of their headquarters.
Scabbard Blade came to Oklahoma State first in 1920. It was the 22nd campus in the nation to have it. But this year, we're going to bring the national headquarters to OSU campus, and K Company, 2nd Regiment at Oklahoma State will be the national headquarters for Scabbard Blade.
Thank you, General
Thank
Dollar,
you.
for leading this effort. We really
bet.
appreciate you being on
Thank
Inside
you for
OSU.
your time.
OSU truly is a real home to the military. We're very proud of them, we're proud of their service, and we appreciate all that they do. So that's another edition of Inside OSU. We'll see you next time, and go Pokes!